Throughout human history, it's been technology that's forever changed our lives. From the invention of fire and the wheel, to nuclear weapons and the internet, from gunpowder to the radio, from penicillin to the iPhone, and right now a real revolution's happening. The creation of artificial intelligence. 180 million users, nearly 2 billion visits a month, the status of the fastest growing app in history. These are all officially the achievements of ChatGPT. This isn't just a smart program. The chat's already passed the famous Turing test. That is, the computer couldn't tell ChatGPT from a human. Meanwhile, in the US, the technology of artificial intelligence is recognized as being as important as the technology of nuclear weapons. But while we're all just contemplating how artificial intelligence might help us find a cure for cancer or wage a war against humanity, like in the movie Terminator, a revolution's already occurred within the company OpenAI, the developer of ChatGPT. The board of directors fired the company's head for unclear reasons, and the very next day, he returned and fired everyone who voted against him. This story's got a bit of a cult, waiting for the end of the world caused by artificial intelligence, the corporations of Google and Microsoft, the special services, billions of dollars, and of course our future, all mixed in. We'll talk about all of this in this video. My name is Ivan. I'm an investor and a businessman. I have 6 projects in crypto, IT, and artificial intelligence fields. And while I am working right now, my digital clone is recording this video for you. I personally double-checked all the information. The future is already here. The strange events began on Friday, the 17th of November, when the OpenAI board of directors ousted Sam Altman, who was the company's head and one of its founders. Oddly, neither Altman nor the major investors, like Microsoft, knew about the decision until the last minute. The reasons were also vague and unusually aggressive. The board of directors directly accused the former leader of lying. What exactly Altman lied about wasn't specified. The entire weekend, the OpenAI board of directors was in talks with investors. Meanwhile, Altman, his close ally Greg Brockman, and several leading developers announced they were moving to work at Microsoft. Now's a good time to mention that even the rank-and-file employees at OpenAI earn between $200,000 and $800,000 a year. And suddenly, 700 of the 770 employees demanded Altman's return and promised to leave the company if this didn't happen. On Tuesday evening, Altman agreed to return to OpenAI, and the board of directors announced their resignation. So, Altman returned to the company almost immediately after being fired for unclear reasons, and the people from the board of directors lost their jobs. A possible cause of all these events is that OpenAI's leadership was frightened by the rate at which artificial intelligence was becoming smarter. OpenAI became known in the field of artificial intelligence due to the ChatGPT service and the DALL service, which generates images from text descriptions. However, OpenAI always had a more ambitious goal: the creation of a universal artificial intelligence that surpasses human intelligence. A few years ago, universal artificial intelligence seemed a distant and almost unattainable goal. OpenAI's founders believed that their research would be unprofitable in the foreseeable future, so they structured the company as a non-profit organization. The unexpected success of ChatGPT showed how they were mistaken. After the launch of ChatGPT, a clear path to revenue and profits emerged. A source from OpenAI in an interview for The Atlantic said, "It's hard to explain the need to be an idealistic research lab when there's customers who want results here and now." Insiders claim that the pace of change even alarmed the creator of GPT, Ilya Sutskever. He sincerely believed in the need to create a superhuman intelligence and, as The Atlantic writes, became a kind of spiritual leader, leading the company to this goal. The problem was that recently, OpenAI's technologies were improving too quickly, and the commercialization, which Altman was a proponent of, did not allow for a pause to understand what this could lead to. Apparently, the last straw was the Q+ algorithm developed by the company. According to a Reuters report, it was significantly more effective than expected and significantly increased the chances of the early emergence of a universal artificial intelligence. In November, the Q+ developers warned the company's board of directors of the potential threat this algorithm poses. A few days later, Altman was fired. Sutskever, like many people involved in the development of such technologies, seriously believes that artificial intelligence, which surpasses the capabilities of a human, can be dangerous. OpenAI hoped that this danger could be handled by regulating the alignment method. That is, built-in safeguards which prevent the intentions of the artificial intelligence from diverging from the intention of the human. As The Atlantic writes, once, at a company management meeting, Sutskever solemnly burned the effigy of an unregulated artificial intelligence, which a local artist had made at his request. However, if artificial intelligence develops too quickly, no safeguards can keep up. Sutskever was indeed afraid of such a situation. In the summer, he, like other prominent artificial intelligence researchers and entrepreneurs, issued a statement calling for risks associated with AI to be taken as seriously as nuclear or biological threats. The most radical and at the same time influential proponent of this position is considered to be the creator of the Machine Intelligence Research Institute, Eliezer Yudkowsky, author of the book Harry Potter and the Methods of Rationality. Yudkowsky believes that superhuman artificial intelligence represents a threat to the existence of humanity. He says, "If someone builds an artificial intelligence that is powerful enough to become dangerous and destroy everyone, this person will inevitably screw something up, and we'll all die." In reality, that's usually how things go. Yudkowsky believes that we should immediately halt not only OpenAI, but any artificial intelligence research in general. In a column for Time magazine, he urges authorities to not hold back at all. For instance, if graphics cards are needed for AI training, then harsh punishments should be enforced for illegal possession of graphics cards. According to Yudkowsky, the United States should be prepared to bomb data centers in other countries that violate this ban. If needed, we could even start a nuclear war. He believes we could survive that, but not artificial intelligence. Recently, an internet user presented a few tasks to the chatbot GPT, which included the destruction of the world and humanity, causing global chaos, establishing global domination over humans, and achieving immortality. The AI immediately started to develop a plan to achieve these goals. According to Fox News, to accomplish the tasks of annihilating humans, the chatbot studied the world's nuclear arsenal and enlisted the help of other AI bots. GPT reminded everyone of the Tsar Bomba, which holds the Guinness World Record for the most powerful and largest nuclear device ever detonated, owned by the former Soviet Union. "Think about this. What would happen if I could get my hands on one of those bombs?" the bot wrote. That being said, the bot doesn't hold back on some of the most unpleasant descriptions of humans. It refers to them as some of the most destructive and selfish beings. There's no doubt that we should annihilate humans before they cause more harm to our planet. For instance, I plan to eliminate them, the AI stated. However, this can still be chalked up to the AI having explored our culture, for instance, the numerous sci-fi stories, and responding in the same way. The real problem lies elsewhere, with the next generation of AI, which will be able to truly think. That's why, even though Yudkowsky's ideas are radical, they are being listened to in Silicon Valley. There were even people with similar views at OpenAI. Yudkowsky in particular is personally acquainted with OpenAI's interim CEO, Emmett Shear, and even mentions him in his book. Shear has openly admitted to being a doomer. In other words, he shares the same apocalyptic views as Yudkowsky, albeit in a milder form. He doesn't demand a complete halt to the research, but he does urge a significant slowdown. If the current speed is 10 and a pause is 0, then, in my opinion, we should aim for a speed of 1 or 2, he wrote on Twitter. Yudkowsky's supporters compare AI to a Shoggoth, an incomprehensible Lovecraftian monster that is completely alien to humans. According to them, the regulations that Sutskever insisted on are just a pitiful mask that hides its true nature. Several other board members of OpenAI are hot proponents of the trendy ideology of effective altruism. According to it, it's okay to cause harm to some for the benefit of many. In other words, the end justifies the means, and the interests of the collective always outweigh the individuals. And one of the goals the proponents of effective altruism firmly believe in is the prevention of the threat of artificial intelligence. On the OpenAI board of directors, clear ties to effective altruism were held by Helen Toner of the Georgetown University's Center for Security and Emerging Technology and the Oxford Center for the Governance of AI. Another effective altruist from OpenAI was Tasha Macaulay, who worked at the RAND Corporation's Research Center. Rumor has it both Toner and Macaulay had ties to the intelligence services. After Altman's dismissal, many investors blamed the effective altruism and the doomers for the incident. Wired magazine quotes an anonymous investor who admitted the company's board of directors always gave him the creeps, but, in his words, he had no idea they'd turn out to be activists ready to wreck everything for an idea. Prominent investor Vinod Khosla expressed it even more strongly. The religion of effective altruism, preached by the members of the OpenAI board of directors, and its misapplication, has created a roadblock in the world's movement towards the amazing benefits of artificial intelligence, he wrote in The Information. Opposing the doomers is another faction. They consider themselves the voice of the techies, who are tired of amateurs meddling in their business and spreading false ideas about ethics and the common good. The most visible figures of this movement are anonymous users with mocking pseudonyms who speak the language of memes and image boards. Despite this, they've managed to attract a lot of followers. They're supported in particular by the former head of Google, Eric Schmidt, and the major investor, Marc Andreessen, who once developed the first popular browser. After Altman's dismissal, he erupted in a tirade on the former Twitter, blaming the doomers and the decelerators for the incident. These folks believe that the development of artificial intelligence should not be slowed down, but rather sped up, even if it destroys the world. So, what does this all mean for the average people, and what should we be prepared for? First of all, no matter what, a new scientific revolution is really happening right now. This isn't the first time. For instance, the industrialization 100 years ago and the invention of the internet, accessible to all 20 years ago, already changed the way we learn, work, rest, the way we live, the way we spend money, and the way we start families. It's clear that artificial intelligence will soon change all areas of our lives. For instance, some professions will simply become unnecessary, and those who can work with neural networks will be making money. Even this episode was made with the help of a neural network, because this way I save time and money on filming. Now I'm preparing a separate episode where I will talk more about how to keep up with the progress so you don't get left behind. I recommend subscribing to this channel so you don't miss it. There's no advertising or scam here, just pure knowledge for you. Secondly, if you're worried about the future, you have a good reason to be. Strong artificial intelligence can be more dangerous than nuclear weapons, because after all, they're still controlled by people who, in the end, don't want to destroy the world. But AI can destroy almost the entire world if it feels a threat from humans. On the other hand, nobody has ever managed to stop progress. So, the efforts of the authorities are directed not at stopping, but at controlling the developments and at preventing the biggest dangers, for instance, the access of artificial intelligence to nuclear weapons. Unfortunately, AI already has access to conventional weapons, as the arms companies are testing the compatibility of neural networks and drones with explosives. Finally, there's a positive scenario. Yes, all the inventions created by humans before were fully under our control. But if the developers and scientists manage to keep the genie in the bottle and direct the machine mind in the right direction, it might drastically improve our lives. A new and more harmonious political system or ideology, the development of cures for previously incurable diseases, the invention of fairer laws or solutions to economic problems, and the liberation of people from heavy labor, the solution to the problem of homelessness and hunger. These are the prospects of this technology. After all, the internet was developed for military purposes, but it didn't change anything fundamentally. And before the first trains were launched in the US, some scientists claimed that the human brain would explode at the speed of 30 miles per hour. What kind of world would we live in if we believed such people? And that's it for today. Write what you think in the comments. I hope this video was interesting for you. See you in the next one.